Welcome to Thorin's YouTube channel. Andrew, shut the fuck up, you piece of shit. Welcome to Thorin's YouTube channel. It's going to be a wild ride. GG, motherfuckers.
The quarterfinals of the FACEIT Major London are upon us, and we have a different format this year from past majors. On the first day of the quarterfinals, two matchups will be played, the two that I'm previewing here, Big against Navi and Complexity against MiBR. The day after, the other two semi-finals will be played, Team Liquid versus Hellraisers and Astralis versus FaZe. The day after that, the two semi-finals will be played, and on the final day, Sunday, the final itself, a best of three, will be played. So in these matchups here, we're going to start based on the time that the matches start. So if Big Navi's already begun, you can still watch the video and watch the coL MiBR prediction. So Big versus Navi, despite being second down on the bracket, is in fact the first game being played. And this is an interesting matchup because on the one hand, Big really got it together in the second stage, in the Legends stage, started to look pretty solid. Then you had Navi, who they faced a very tough stretch of opponents, didn't play that well in a lot of the games, but still eked out the wins, still were able to get the victories, still were able to show superstar performance from Simple, from Electronic. So that's Navi. They can win ugly games. They can win slap down, drag out fights. Meanwhile, Big, they've needed a lot of firepower from Smooya. Someone like Nexus started to come online. godB actually generally for the tournament played way above the level you'd expect. Tabson's as usual, good as he is. So let's talk about the maps then. So for Big, this is one of the interesting things about this series is that there's some clear edges in the map pool. And so then it comes down to, can people hold serve on their map and win their map? So for Big, interestingly enough, a bunch of teams are trying Dust 2. And they're not a team who pick it very often, but they played it a whole bunch, and they have won 5 out of 7. They've won their last 3 in a row on this particular map. Even the losses, one was a 13-16 loss to Renegades, one was an time loss to FaZe, obviously at ESL1 Cologne in the semi-final. So Dust 2, they're one of the best teams in the world on this map. Then you've got Train. They've won 5 out of 8. They've won their last 3 in a row. Losses on that map on Train, Navi's one of them, Fnatic's one of them, Vega Squadron's one of them. So Navi, bit of a warning sign there. Inferno's pretty solid, but it's 3 out of 5. They've won a bunch of overtime games. They lost that map to Navi as well in the final. They're on a losing streak of 2 because they also lost to Complexity. Cash, they've won 2 out of 3. They lost to Fnatic, won against MiBR, and won in overtime against G2 at ESL1 Cologne. Won their last 2 there, but haven't played it in a while. Nuke, they're 1-1. They won against Gambit. They're not really a team that seems to play it. They lost against Complexity. I don't know how that Veto came about. They did. And then Overpass, they've won 1 out of 3. They lost to MiBR, lost to Navi, and only beat Renegades. So pretty poor on Overpass, which is fairly obvious if you watch this squad play the last 2 months. And then they do not play Mirage. It is their permaban. So this is a team that, by all rights, in terms of picking, has been heavily picking Cash, and then they occasionally, based on opponent, picked stuff like Dust 2, Overpass, but those are generally against the lower-level opponents. Now, this is a team where Smooya has been going ham. He is averaging numbers nobody is going to average, over 1 kill per round. I expect that to fall off big time, hasn't played in a major playoffs before, is a rookie at the majors. He's had issues in the team. Before ESL Cologne, there were these rumours they were going to kick him and get in Sirison or some other AWPer. Apparently those rumours persist. He doesn't like playing in the team where they're speaking in German sometimes and the team has to communicate in English. They have their issues with his attitude and he's already been sort of dropping dime on people. So a little bit of tension there, but okay, for now it's fine in the squad. Nexus started to come online in the last round, but I don't expect him to do much in the playoffs. Tabson has been legitimately very strong. I think Tabson's the best player on this team by far, quite frankly. But Smooya has statistically outperformed him thus far and is something of a playmaker, impact player. He has a lot of qualities going for him. godB, I think, has overperformed at the majors thus far. He's not someone I consider a good in-game leading fragger. But you know what? If he continues it, I'll give him massive props. I don't think it's going to happen, quite frankly. Now, on the Navi side of the equation, it wasn't that long ago. You go back to E-League Premier. Navi had this amazing map pool. That map pool has started to drop off quite a bit. Overpass and Train are still amazing. They've both won 7 out of the last 8 on those. Winning streak of 2 on Overpass. The only loss on Overpass, Team Liquid. Okay, interesting one there. Not really traditionally an Overpass team. And the loss on Train, bizarrely, was to North. Again, not a team you think of as a Train team, and that was where Navi picked it. So even the losses there don't really add up that much. And obviously, they've beaten Astralis on Overpass, so big time map for them. Mirage, they're very, very strong on still. They've won 4 of their last 5. The loss was to Ghost Gaming, bizarrely. So they've beaten Mouse Sports, Fnatic, Ents. They're pretty solid on that. Sure, not the best opponents overall, but solid enough whenever they get there. And those are decent opponents. Nuke, they're bizarrely, as I always say, are pretty good on it. They've only lost to Astralis, the best team by far. And they beat Ents and Ghost. Inferno is bizarre because it's the most played map by this team. They played it 10 times over the last 3 months. They actually even pick it themselves a whole bunch. They've only won 4 out of the last 10. They've actually lost 4 of the last 5 as well. This is outrageous that they keep picking this map and letting this map be played. They've lost to the likes of NRG, Bomb-Ass Mouse Sports, G2, Fnatic, North, sure, Astralis, and they've also beaten Astralis. So I think beating Astralis at ESL Cologne tricked them into thinking Inferno's really good for them. Plus, it was really good from the beginning of the year. And for some reason, in Zeus's mind, he's always liked Inferno. He's always liked the feel of the Seaside. And he seems to think this is a good map for them. I disagree massively. I want them to be heading towards Overpass and Train. Dust 2 is their obvious weak spot. They've lost it every time they've played it, I think like 6 times. In the last 3 months, they've played it 4 times. They've lost all 4 to Ents, not exactly that great team. Big, okay, good Dust 2 team. Team Liquid, decent team, Dust 2 team. Ghost in overtime. What the fuck is going on? So there are some problem maps here. They always ban Cash, perma-ban status. They can't play Dust 2. They're ropey on Inferno. So then you have to start really asking yourself questions. Because this is a team that their most picked map recently has been Inferno. But they do also pick other maps sometimes specific to the opponent. Now, Simple Electronic continue to be the best duo in the world. They're carrying the tournament. Flamey's had his issues outside of the game. In-game seems decent enough, a little bit improved at this tournament. That grinding style is still there, even though they haven't executed it as well, and their force buys haven't been close to as good. They've got some map pool weirdness with the whole Inferno picking thing, but I'm hoping they will avoid that here, especially because you think of Big. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind playing Inferno against them. It's not the end of the world, but you'd much rather play something like Overpass. So let's get to the pick ban for this one. I think the pick ban's a very simple one to begin with because Big permabans Mirage, so they'll permaban it here. It's a strong map for Na'Vi. Na'Vi permabans Cash. It's a decent map for Big. I think Na'Vi does this for comfort anyway. Big, logically, should pick Dust 2. Na'Vi has never won on it. It's the best map for Big. I think Big will win this map if they pick it. I think Na'Vi has the firepower to win it, but they've shown no style, rhythm, or routine on this map. So I think Big is definitely winning a map in this series. Na'Vi should pick Overpass. I know they've been picking Inferno. I still think they could win Inferno. It's just too much of a risk. Why pick it? Pick Overpass. It's a weak map for Big. It's one that they don't like. It's one that your players like Simple always seem to thrive on. I think if they pick Overpass, Na'Vi's winning this map. I think Big then bans Nuke because he can't really play it. I think Na'Vi bans Inferno and lets Train as the decider. Now, Zeus might obviously just go crazy and ban Train because that's a pretty strong map for the guys from Big and he might want to play Inferno, which I think is a fucking weak map for Na'Vi. So in that world, you know what? I actually probably would say that if he goes to Inferno, I could see that being close. I could see it being a tough one. I think you should go for Decided Train. Sure, one of the best maps for Big, but you're Na'Vi. You've won a load on it. You've got a whole bunch of good players on it. I think you will edge out the win there. I think Na'Vi takes this series 2-1. I give the slight firepower edge to Na'Vi once people actually come down to earth and are playing on the big stage at a major in front of all the crowd. I think that's going to bring Smoothie down, let Nex a little bit more limited, and definitely make God be back in the realms of reality. I think Dust 2's big for the big team. That's their big chance to win one. And then they've got a solid chance on Train. Na'Vi could just fuck up the whole Veto. Like if they make the Veto go Dust 2, Inferno, Train, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go ahead and say Big can get 2 of those 3. And at that point, I'll give it to Big. But I'm going to say Na'Vi does a vaguely correct Veto and in line with history and actually goes ahead and edges the series on talent, experience, and firepower. So quite a lot, right? Now let's look at Complexity versus MiBR. Complexity, obviously, mystery team. Haven't played big tournaments, played at DreamHack tournaments, played at the minor. Now we've seen them here at the major. Fabulous team on Inferno. People have been giving them it. They've won 4 in a row at this major. They only lost to Astralis. They are 7 out of 9 on this map. They've beaten Big. They've beaten Fnatic. Okay, not the biggest teams ever. Lost to Astralis, but a fabulous team. Mirage, they've won 3 out of 4, including their last 2, but mainly lower level opposition. Cash, they've won 2 out of 3. Including a win against G2, but a loss against NRG. They've won 2 out of 3 on Dust 2. 1 win to Rogue, 1 loss to Rogue. Win against Dignitas overtime, so nothing big there. Nuke, they're 1-1. They've won against Big. Train, they're 1-1. They've won against NRG. Nuke and Train, they've lost to Furia, so those are questionable maps out there. I'm amazed more people aren't going into, but I guess they did beat Big, who doesn't really play Nuke, so maybe that buys them a little bit of cash here. Overpass is a permaban. They always ban it and they do not play it. They tend, traditionally in best of threes, to pick Mirage, so that's one I'm very interested to see for this series, because it's traditionally been a good MiBR map. Now the numbers, the raw stats for some of the players on Complexity are completely implausible. They're not going to continue. Maybe one of them stays up at that level. I just doubt 3 people can stay at that level. So I'm saying the numbers drop way off. Map pool, not fully established yet. People have been scared off by the Inferno, but is that going to scare off MiBR? MiBR likes Inferno. It's one of the maps they're quite comfortable on. MiBR, their best map is between Dust 2 and Inferno. Dust 2 and Inferno, they've won 4 out of 5. They've only lost on Dust 2 to Astralis. I wouldn't be worried about that personally. It's absolutely fine. The best team on Dust 2, arguably. They've lost on Inferno to Tyloo, but Tyloo's a wacky team. They have that game under control. They've beaten Mouse Sports and beaten G2. I think Inferno's a solid map for them. Cash, they're 3-0 on, so maybe they secretly think Cash is their best map. Obviously won it in overtime against NIP. Other wins are against bomb teams. They won Train 2 out of 3 times, lost to Astralis, won against NIP. Mirage is a 1-on-1. They lost that to NIP, but they won it against Mouse Sports, so admittedly is a bit up and down there. Overpass, they've only played once with this lineup. They lost it to Astralis, probably the best Overpass team, if not Na'Vi. Nuke, they do not play it to permaban, and I mean a permaban. Now, their picks, interestingly, go all over the place. They sometimes pick Inferno, they sometimes pick Cash. They've occasionally picked Dust 2 and Train. So I really want to see what's going to happen with this pick ban. Now, Stewie and Fur have struggled in this team both to find their role and to be particularly effective. Now, they say Stewie's playing a spot development. Okay, we'll give him a break there. But Fur, for me, has been non-existent. Fallen has improved a lot, though. Not up to the top Fallen status, but solid enough. His all ping's back. That's giving them a new dimension. And as a result, when he's hitting shots, he can win some clutches. And that adds a little bit of extra dimension to what otherwise is a one-dimensional team. coldzera is still very strong. Tarek's doing a good job. The map pool is good, but it is unproven. Now, here's the thing. Complexity, I think logically, I think both teams ban their perma. So Complexity bans Overpass as their perma. They don't need to. You could gamble, but the maps that normally they would ban other than Overpass would be Train, would be Cash. Now, the thing about that is, I don't really know. I could see a world in which you maybe ban out Cash, like maybe you don't want to play that. It's not the end of the world. Or maybe you ban Train because you're not so good. You really think they're going to pick that first of all, though? I mean, they're not going to pick Overpass. I would like a gamble, but I also think you could play it safe. MiBR bans Nuke, that goes without saying, and Complexity beat Big on it, so I think they're going to be a little bit scared. Complexity, I think, picks Mirage. It's their usual pick. Quite frankly, I think it's a decent map for them, but I think MiBR will win it. They've got better routine on it, all the players, in my opinion. I know they haven't played it a ton. I think it's a map that does suit them, though. They've got both sides on it. I think MiBR ekes out a small win. MiBR, I think, should pick Cash because they're unbeaten on it. They picked it in the NIP Veto. They beat NIP on it. I think it's not that strong for coL. I'd love to see that as kind of a mix-up to play. And I think MiBR would win that map as well. I think Complexity bans Train. I think MiBR bans Inferno to make the decider Dust 2, a map that we know MiBR likes to play. And I think MiBR wins Dust 2. I think they're better on that map overall. I actually am saying MiBR will win any of these 3 maps, Mirage, Cash, and Dust 2. If there's something different, if instead we have a Cash ban, and instead they have to go to something else there at that point in time, perhaps Inferno, now that gets interesting. If it's Mirage and Inferno from Complexity, which would be a cheeky ban, if MiBR decides to play Inferno into them, you got a chance to win a map there. Inferno, I think actually Complexity has a chance. I wouldn't pick them to win it though. I would still edge it to MiBR. So I'm giving the firepower edge to MiBR once people come back down to reality. Experience edge goes massively to MiBR. All of them are major champions. Everyone on Complexity is a rookie to this level of a tournament. Map pool has been kind of a bit unproven for both teams. Both, I think, have inflated records. And I think this type of series will really show you where people settle down. But I'm saying MiBR wins. I'm saying Na'Vi wins. And obviously, I'll have a different video for the other 2 quarterfinals. This video was kindly supported by Gardner Wilson, Dean Tanglis, Alex Adams, Eddie Wingfors, Andreas Snazore Westerlund, godawfulwasteofspace, Kyla Harris, Travis Greb, James Harding, Daniel Yordanov, VeXii, Robert Baxter, and a special thanks goes out to Jerky's Minion. Do you want to suggest a topic or a guest to appear in my content? Do you want to ask me a question in my monthly AMA? Do you want teasers for upcoming content and guests? Want to take part in a discussion about esports with me? Put your money where your mouth is and join the Scrilluminati today. Link in the description box.